Windows 10 is coming later this year, and it brings some truly surprising changes with it, along with expected tweaks to relieve Windows 8 sufferers and lure more holdouts from prior versions. The OS is currently available as a preview, so it will continue to evolve in the coming months. Here are the highlights, plus links to more detailed coverage. A new iteration of the Start menu is used on the Windows 10 desktop, with a list of places and other options on the left side, and tiles representing applications on the right. The menu can be resized and expanded into a full-screen display, which is the default option in tablet mode. 375362, a new virtual desktop system was added. A feature known as Task View displays all open windows and allows users to switch between them, or switch between multiple workspaces. 3753, Windows Store apps, which previously could be used only in full screen mode, can now be used in self-contained windows similarly to other programs. 3753, program windows can now be snapped to quadrants of the screen by dragging them to the corner. When a window is snapped to one side of the screen, Task View appears and the user is prompted to choose a second window to fill the unused side of the screen, called Snap Assist. 53, Windows system icons were also changed. 62. Charms have been removed. Their functionality in Windows Store apps is accessed from an App Commands menu on their title bar. 3753, in its place is Action Center, which displays notifications and settings toggles. It is accessed by clicking an icon in the notification area, or dragging from the right of the screen. Notifications can be synced between multiple devices. 5462, the Settings app, formerly PC Settings, was refreshed and now includes more options that were previously exclusive to the desktop control panel. 6364. Windows 10 is designed to adapt its user interface based on the type of device being used and available input methods. It offers two separate user interface modes, a user interface optimized for mouse and keyboard, and a tablet mode designed for touchscreens. Users can toggle between these two modes at any time, and Windows can prompt or automatically switch when certain events occur, such as disabling tablet mode on a tablet if a keyboard or mouse is plugged in, or when a 2-inch-1 PC is switched to its laptop state. In tablet mode, programs default to a maximized view, and the taskbar contains a back button and hides buttons for opened or pinned programs. Task View is used instead to switch between programs. The full-screen Start menu is used in this mode, similarly to Windows 8, but scrolls vertically instead of horizontally. System security. Windows 10 incorporates multi-factor authentication technology based upon standards developed by the FIDO Alliance. 68. The operating system includes improved support for biometric authentication through the Windows Hello and Passport platforms. Devices with supported cameras, requiring infrared illumination, such as Intel RealSense, allow users to log in with iris or face recognition, similarly to Kinect. Devices with supported readers support fingerprint recognition login. Credentials are stored locally and protected using asymmetric encryption. The Passport platform allows networks, software and websites to authenticate users using either a PIN or biometric login to verify their identity, without sending a password. 69. The enterprise version of Windows 10 offers additional security features. Administrators can set up policies for the automatic encryption of sensitive data, selectively block applications from accessing encrypted data, and enable Device Guard, a system which allows administrators to enforce a high-security environment by blocking the execution of software that is not digitally signed by a trusted vendor or Microsoft. Device Guard is designed to protect against zero-day exploits, and runs inside a hypervisor so that its operation remains separated from the operating system itself. Windows 10 will have hologram technology. You heard right again. At the January Consumer Preview event, Microsoft introduced Microsoft Holographic, a set of technologies that will enable 3D imaging and hologram projection for Windows 10 apps. A video and live demo showed people wearing Microsoft HoloLens projection goggles to interact with remote coworkers, play a 3D version of Minecraft, or explore a 3D projection of Mars. Developers will be able to use Holo Studios software to develop 3D applications. Windows 10 will include Universal Office apps. Removed features edit. Windows Media Center was discontinued, and is uninstalled when upgrading from a previous version of Windows 112-113. Upgraded Windows installations with Media Center will receive the paid app Windows DVD player free of charge for a limited, but unspecified, time. 114. Microsoft had previously relegated Media Center and integrated DVD playback support to a paid add-on beginning on Windows 8 due to the cost of licensing the required DVD decoders, and the increasing number of PC devices that have no optical drives. 115. The OneDrive built-in sync client, which was introduced in Windows 8.1, no longer supports offline placeholders for online-only files in Windows 10. 116-117, functionality to view offline files is expected to be added in the future by a new Windows app. 118. Users are no longer able to synchronize start menu layouts across all devices associated with a Microsoft account. A Microsoft developer justified the change by explaining that a user may have different applications they want to emphasize on each device that they use, rather than use the same configuration across each device. The ability to automatically install a Windows Store app across all devices associated with an account was also removed. 119. Web browsers can no longer set themselves as a user's default without further intervention. Changing the default web browser must be performed manually by the user from Settings Default Apps page, ostensibly to prevent browser hijacking. 120. Parental controls no longer support browsers other than Internet Explorer and Edge, and the ability to control browsing by a whitelist was removed. 121. Also removed were the ability to control local accounts, and the ability to scan a machine for applications to allow and block. Citation needed. The food and drink, health, and fitness, and travel apps have been discontinued. 122. Drivers for floppy drives are no longer integrated and must be downloaded separately. 113-123. While all Windows 10 editions include fonts that provide broad language support, some fonts for Middle Eastern and East Asian languages, Arabic, Chinese, Hindi, Japanese, Korean, etc., are no longer included with the standard installation to reduce storage space used, but are available without charge as optional font packages. When software invokes text in languages other than those for which the system is configured and does not use the Windows font fallback mechanisms designed always to display legible glyphs, Windows displays unsupported characters as a default not defined glyph, a square or rectangular box, or a box with a dot, question mark or X inside. 124. Windows Defender could be integrated into File Explorer's context menu in Windows 8.x, but Microsoft initially removed integration from Windows 10, restoring it in Windows 10 Build 10571 in response to user feedback. 125. User control over Windows updates was removed, except in enterprise versions. In earlier versions, users could opt for updates to be installed automatically, or to be notified so they could update as and when they wished, or not to be notified, and they could choose which updates to install, using information about the updates. Windows 10 Pro and Enterprise users may be configured by an administrator to defer updates, but only for a limited time. 126. For example, in its Canadian licensing agreement, users of Windows 10 may stop receiving updates on your device by turning off Internet access. If and when you reconnect to the Internet, the software will resume checking for and installing updates. 127. Under the Windows End-User License Agreement, users consent to the automatic installation of all updates, features and drivers provided by the service, and to the automatic removal or changes to features being modified is not required. It is implicit without any additional notice. Microsoft is creating universal Office apps that will be touch-friendly and run on all devices. Future Windows phones and Windows tablets will come with Office apps pre-installed. This is all part of Microsoft's bid to take back territory it's lost to the free productivity applications, namely Google Drive. What's not clear is how these universal apps will relate to Office 365 or the upcoming Office 2016 desktop software. Windows 10 will include Cortana. Cortana, the female-voiced, somewhat sassy digital assistant that debuted in Windows Phone 8.1, will become part of Windows 10. Tied in closely with the Bing search and notifications features of the new OS, you'll be able to type or talk to get information through your PC. We tried Cortana at the January Consumer Preview event, and also when it appeared in Build 9926 a few days later. It's definitely still a work in progress, but it's nice to see this highlight of Windows Phone arrive in Windows 10. Windows 10 will have two browsers. Windows 10 will have it both ways. Browser-wise, it will ship with both Internet Explorer 11 and Spartan, the new, uncluttered browser that Microsoft is developing, apparently to replace E. But perhaps keeping good old Explorer is Microsoft's way of avoiding wrenching changes that could alienate users. Windows 8. Windows 10 will be great for gaming. Microsoft is bringing big changes to PC gaming with Windows 10. We'll see the debut of the DirectX 12 API, which promises faster, closer to the metal gaming performance and greater efficiency. Windows 10 will also include a game DVR mode to allow recordings of the last 30 seconds of play, all the better for social gaming. In the most dramatic gaming move, the company said it would enable cross-platform, PC Xbox Play. Microsoft has attempted and failed to unite these platforms before, however, so we'll see how it works this time. Windows 10 will embrace most Windows phones. One Windows for all. At the January Consumer Preview, the company announced that Windows phones would receive Windows 10 and work in concert with other Windows devices. Some confusion has ensued since then about possible exceptions, so we'll continue to track any developments. Windows RT may be on its last gasp. Microsoft hasn't shut the door entirely on Windows RT devices like its own Surface 2. But with excitement building for Windows 10, the most Microsoft would promise is that such hardware would get its own version of Windows 10, likely limited in functionality, as Windows RT was compared to Windows. Then news broke that Microsoft would stop manufacturing the Surface 2 entirely. The company is downplaying the significance of this move, but it could indicate that Microsoft's keeping existing RT devices on life support via upgrades, but halting further development.